It's the second day of June. Happy gay. I'm realizing I need to brush my teeth. Above all else, kind of everything I thought that I thought about myself the last year or so kind of just seems to not be that way, I guess. I'm legitimately actually in love with someone right now. And I was really nervous about that fact during the beginning stages of it, admittedly, because I hadn't allowed myself to be in a romantic space with anybody for a really long time. Me and my ex stayed friends after we broke up, and I was under the impression that we were really just better off as friends. I thought we had the multiple conversations, specifically and non-directly, about the fact that we just don't get along and we don't agree on anything and we don't have anything in common, and our personalities are too different for us to make each other happy romantically. Friendship and platonic love is important, and apparently it just was never like that. It's fine. We've been no contact. It's not a big deal. But I'm so happy. I'm just so damn happy. I'm just so happy. I'm a very firm believer that if you keep trying to hold on to things that aren't meant for you, it means that you will just subsequently keep yourself from the things that are meant for you. If I got a bunch of space in my fucking bedroom with a bunch of shit that I don't like really, and then one day I see this gorgeous piece of furniture that I want to bring into my room, but I don't have no room for it, I can't bring it into my room. Even if I have the money, even if I have the ability to get it to my house, I have to get rid of something before I can put it in my room. I have to get rid of something, of one of the things I don't like, in order to make space for that. And that's just the way that it works. And I think I was really reluctant to let go of that space. I already mourned the loss of our relationship, while I was in it, because we were not really healthy for each other. Now that that space is gone, it was almost immediately filled by someone who literally just, kind of gives me everything I've ever wanted. And, treats me with kindness and treats people around them with kindness and is smart and has adventure and has a drive to do something and has a work ethic, and they're funny and they listen to really really niche and eclectic music, and we have really good conversations and we talk all the time. I love being with someone who makes me feel like I'm quiet. I constantly get to just sit and be quiet and listen, and I love to do that. I love to just be able to just chill out and not have to constantly be going, and I like feeling soft, and I like feeling vulnerable, and I like feeling safe. I like feeling adorable again. I like feeling I'm allowed to be cute, and I'm allowed to be romantic, and all these things that I think I just convinced myself that I wasn't a romantic person, that I wasn't a lover, that I wasn't, sweet, that I wasn't affectionate, because these were all just things I was kind of being starved of. I was being starved of these things and then being told that they just didn't have the food to feed me, and for some reason I was taking that as a personal attack, being hey, I don't have food to feed you, I have love to give you and water to give you, I'm sorry. I took that as, why the fuck are you purposely keeping things from me and not doing the thing that I need so that way you can sustain me? That's fucked up. Those are both unhealthy ways to view it and unhealthy ways to look at a situation in general. But that's also why we're not together anymore. God, I love feeling so fucking free with the current person that I'm talking to. We're not even talking. I married that bitch. I fucking put a ring on that hoe. Believe that. When things line up and things align the way that they're supposed to, you grab that shit with the swiftness. When you are the kind of person who naturally is able to create and manifest a world around you that is actually a reflection of the things you want on the inside, you don't question that. You don't question that. You take what the world gives you because you asked for it, damn it. And I asked for this. I fucking asked for this, bitch. Forever. It's gonna sound crazy. This person that I'm with currently, I had to go through my last relationship in order to be the kind of person who would have recognized wanting to be in this relationship. I don't even know the kind of person I was before I entered my last relationship because of just like all the ways that I've changed since it happened. And I was a teenager when we got together, so I really am like a completely different person now because I'm a fucking grown-ass adult. Now, I'm a full grown-ass adult meeting somebody for the first time that literally is everything I've ever asked for since I started getting into relationships. Like, since I started considering the fact that I want to have romantic love and have companionship. These are all things I've wanted from somebody, and that I really was convinced after all this time that I was never going to get because it was too much, or my expectations were too high, or, you know, people just don't work like that, or, you know, I'm just the only one that, like, people have ever met that, you know, functions this way. Like, I was like, you know what, fine, if that's the case, I'll just be alone forever because I would rather wait and find someone who's perfect for me than settle for someone I constantly have to fight with and someone I constantly have to ask to do things for me. And now I do. And now I'm engaged to a wonderful, wonderful, lovely, lovely being who who just makes me so unbelievably happy and who gives me this refreshed sense of, like, invigoration. Like, I wish this kind of feeling on everybody. Like, as much as my ex would hate me to say it, I do wish that he finds this kind of love with someone. I really, really, really do. It's beautiful, and it's healing, and it's soft, and it's simple. It's deep, and it's rich, and it's beautiful. And it's so innocent. Like, our relationship, at the very minimum, is on the base of mutual respect and adoration. Usually I don't really be talking about, like, my sex stuff with people because, like, whatever. That's, like, not really my shtick. Like, I'll talk about sex with people, but, like, not, like, my personal things with sex. But it's nice to know the things I feel really are in my heart, you know? The ways I feel about this person, the way that they make me feel, the reason I asked them to marry me, like, it all is very honest and based on things that I have been feeling for a very long time. I know someone personally who has one of those stories where it's like they get together, they're together for a couple months, they're married within a year, they're moved in together within that same year, they are together for 15 years, and they're together for the rest of their life after that. Like, my aunt and uncle were that way. I have a lot of faith and I have a lot of confidence in the things that are about to be moving forward and in my own life. I'm surrounded by people who love me and who care about me, and I feel like that's only going to get stronger and get more prevalent in my life, and I'm really, really excited. If you're seeing this month, this is your sign and this is your lesson to just move with it as best you fucking can. Try really hard not to give it any resistance because you will be so much fucking happier once you do. As someone who has really never had a whole lot of, like, positive experience around their predisposed hormonal times of the month, the older I get, the more I do just kind of feel like a sigh of relief when it finally arrives, because it's like, finally, everything will just go back to the routine. Being forced to understand what that means for me and being forced to, like, understand the complexities of, like, my, like, literal body that I occupy gets easier as I get older, and I'm so fucking thankful for that, because what the fuck? Ugh, if they're gonna make this fucking shit so complicated, give me a goddamn manual at least. One that I can understand. Monkey's paw ass fucking life. My toxic and possibly, arguably, autistic trait, is that I really feel like I can get along with everyone, and I'm genuinely shocked when someone just, like, doesn't want to work things out with me. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you're not trying to, like, mutually make this as easy as it can fucking be? What do you mean you're taking this shit personally instead of trying to fight for an ultimate and unanimous answer? Like, why are you being a fucking weirdo right now? Why are you arguing with me? We're trying to fix a fucking flat tire and you're mad at me? Why are you mad at me? I'm trying to utilize my deep breathing and regulation techniques and you're mad? I'm sorry your mom didn't love you. My bad, yo. Last night was the most intense trip of my entire life. When I was like 19, I went on a trip. I tripped mushrooms, and it felt like I just like completely dissociated from myself, like completely lost myself, like kind of went into like a kind of psychosis or some shit. Like I legitimately felt so out of place. And then a couple years later, I tripped again, and I felt like I came back, which was actually not. I tripped this last August 2024, and I felt like I finally came back from my trip when I was 18, 19. This transcends that, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be reaffirmed in my own beliefs, and I feel really grateful and really thankful to have the people around me that I do. I'm really thankful for my partner. I'm really thankful that I get to have these experiences, and I'm really fucking excited for what the future fucking holds. Yeah. The world is a beautiful place when you allow yourself to be open to it, and when you finally allow yourself to start moving in alignment with the things that are meant for you. I think I have this reluctancy to accept things outside of myself because it's easier to try and like rationale and like talk my way out of it than it is to just sit with the fact that it might be what I think it is. Like I had a conversation last night, like maybe I turned to nihilism because it's easier just to shut things down than it is to have any kind of conversation about things that make me uncomfortable. And that being an asshole and being a douchebag just because I think something is silly is the same thing as what I disagree with. Sometimes when I disagree with things, or I have this inclination to reject things or to like push against them, maybe it's because it's easier for me to be combative than it is for me to sit with the discomfort. And I used to not think that I was like that. I used to think that I was really good at sitting in the discomfort, but I'm starting to realize that it's a lot more unconscious than I think I thought it was at first. A lot of the stuff I do is a lot more unconscious, and I feel really thankful to constantly be like confronted with myself and to have the kindness and the gentleness with myself to just be okay with learning and growing, giving myself the grace and the space to just make mistakes and change, and to never hold myself just too rigid and too high of a standard that I can't ever get out of. Tristan reminds me a lot that it's not really all about me. I think part of me forgot that. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just egotistical, maybe it's blindness. But I do think that I've been thinking about myself too much. And I've been thinking about my connection to things too much, and I think it's time for me to start getting more abstract with my thinking again. So hopefully that goes well. The worst part about being friends and being close to problematic people, or people who don't want to fix the shit in their life, is that sometimes they get mixed up with people who are absolutely fucking despicable. But even worse than that, sometimes those fucking awful and despicable people hit the fucking nail right on the fucking head. I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to really like get a hold and a harness on like what I'm doing, and I'm like trying to make like real moves to hone my skills and create some kind of like tangible progress in these things in my life as I age. And I keep like looking for, you know, these outside aids and helpers and assistances, and I guess I'm like looking for advice that'll just like make it all click. But I'm realizing all the advice that I'm finding is all stuff I all know, and I think what that means is that it's time for me just to start doing some stuff. And I think that's the scariest part. doing the thing is so much scarier than thinking about it, and I've just been doing a lot of thinking about it, and now I'm being like forced into action. I was talking to my mom about that today. The person I'm seeing, we're actually engaged, if you can believe it or not. No one really in my life knows except for like a few people. It's really cool. But I was realizing, I was telling my mom how I feel like, you know, in being with them, it actually like is requiring a little bit of self-confidence that's like actually real and isn't just kind of surface level. Like, it's requiring me to show up in a way that is much deeper than I think I've been showing up, and it recognizes that, and it's really cool just to kind of have someone see and check and hold me accountable for that, because I don't have a whole lot of people like that. And so it's exciting to think about this next little chapter of my life and like what I'm going to be doing, especially knowing now that I have support from someone who not only sees me but also sees my vision and also has the ability to help me see that potential for myself, and vice versa, because, you know, obviously I don't think I'm fucking useless. So that's exciting. Hopefully things are in the moves soon, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully just things are in the moves soon. I logged out of all of my social medias because I've been tired of fucking scrolling. I've been just so bored, and I've just been scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I've not been doing anything, and my room's a fucking mess, and I'm a fucking mess, and I've not been doing any of my routines the way that I need to, and it's just because I've been scrolling, because I've been distracting myself from all the shit that I've been doing, and I'm trying to stop that. I'm trying to lock back in. Social media breaks are important, especially when you're addicted. The world is scary, and letting people into your heart and into your life is equally as scary. But it's worth it, and it's lovely, and it's fun. Life is a series of events that will constantly have you faced with the choice of whether or not you want to continue to make excuses for the way your life is, or if you would like to make excuses for the way your life should be. I've been very dissatisfied with my life for a very long time now, like years on years on years on years, and I think part of me has become disillusioned to that. And part of me has become complicit with this feeling of disappointment, of inadequacy, of bare minimumness. And I'm over it. I think this is fucking whack. Whack as fuck. Lame as fuck. I don't understand why I, as a conscious human being who understands my worth, who understands the value of my time, who understands the value of connection, and who consciously wants to express those things, why the fuck I'm still convincing myself that me not having friends is a me issue. Of me not having the life I want is a me issue. The only issue that I'm having with myself is the fact that I continue to put myself around motherfuckers who are lame as fuck and who do nothing for me. God damn it. I just have people in my life, and have had people in my life. There are a lot of people who have been leaving my life recently, who just take, and who take and take and take and take and take from me. Who just take and take and take and take and take from me. Who I just give and I give and I give and I give, and they just take and they take and they take and they take. And you know what? That's not their fault. They're takers. They're taking it like a taker. They take it because that's all they know how to do. That's all they've been taught how to do. It's all they've been shown how to do. And it's the only thing that they've ever felt that feels good or feels right, because it's all they know how to do. And I have been taught to be a giver. Not to be like, I'm just I'm not, but I am. I can't help that. I love people. I'm a lover. I love the people around me. I love the world. I love myself. And if you're around me, I'm gonna love you too. Sorry. Motherfuckers who don't like that don't vibe well with me. Motherfuckers who don't want to be loved don't vibe well with me. That's their business. That's not my business. People who don't want to be loved correctly don't have any business around me. And that's okay. That is okay. Damn, I love the fuck out of my partner, my fiance. I love the fuck out of my fiance. That's the fuck why I'm marrying that motherfucker. Believe it. Believe it. I didn't realize how much of a scared dog I was up until entering this relationship. I did not realize how much of a frightened little baby I really possibly had the potential to be. Because I have convinced myself, wonderfully enough, that I'm a bad bitch who don't need nobody and don't need nothing, and is scary and will tell you matter of fact and will vouch for myself and validate my own feelings and tell you what the fuck it is and will inspire others to be the same way, because I am that way. How many friends do I have, though? What did my relationship status look like a year ago? Exactly. There's a difference between being healed and not putting yourself in positions to be triggered. And that's what I was doing, was not putting myself in positions to be triggered. And the moments I was being triggered and the ways that I did like being triggered, I didn't have people who were willing to meet me there. I didn't have people who were willing to give me the respect and the reciprocity of having hard conversations with me. Because it's clear those people don't want me in their life because they don't want those hard conversations. They want the easy until it's gone. And that's a lot of people. A lot of people want to ride out the nice, and then when it inevitably ends, they're just like, ah, dang, sucks. I'm at a point where it's like, I'm ready to ride all of it out, and then when it gets to the point where we're like, ooh, yeah, that's crazy, we're gonna go back up again because we're gonna get back on that thing because I want you in my life, damn it. And I'm realizing the same realization I had kind of when I was 17 is that everything that everyone does is a reflection of their own projections. Like, people who don't want you in there, who don't want to keep good people in their life, don't feel like they deserve to have good people in their life. They don't feel like they deserve to have people around them that make them feel that way and who could possibly bring in this new era of them seeing the world. They don't want that. I think I made a post very recently before I started like taking kind of a break from social media, and I was just like, some of you could really afford to think about yourselves less. And I think that also was a projection of my own onto the rest of the world, because I also could go with thinking about myself less. But on that same coin, I could also go for not assuming that I know best for everybody because of it. Like, I think I have this idea that because I am so like locked in, because I have this ability to just see whatever, I think that I have this ability to like have, I think sometimes my ego gets me in my head and thinks that I'm like omnipotent or something, and I know that's not really healthy for nobody, and it's not really something, that's not an energy no one wants to be around. No one likes to be around someone who like legitimately thinks that they're like the all-knowing person. And while I do know that I have a track record of being incredibly right, while I do know that I have a track record of being on the right side of things or for having the correct opinion in most circumstances, I also know that I have a long track record of being very fucking wrong, of literally saying the words, oh, see, that's why you can't listen to me, because I have said stuff that's just inaccurate because of my own assumptions and my own ways of thinking about it, and I don't want to be that way either. I did mushrooms a couple days ago, and maybe that's where all this is coming from, but like I'm realizing I think I need to chill the fuck out a little bit. I think I need to separate myself from the things that I thought I currently knew and maybe give myself a chance to see things differently for the first time in a minute. Because like I do think that I like am able and open to seeing new perspectives and of having my opinions change, but I also know that I'm a human being, and the older I get, the harder it's going to be for that to like happen. And the older I get and the longer that time goes on, the more I'm gonna like naturally like dig myself into grooves and into ways of being without my knowledge. And the only way to confront those things is to constantly be questioning myself and challenging myself and being around people who constantly question and challenge me as well. I'm tired of not being around those motherfuckers. Where are you? Where are you? One of them. I found one of them and it took me fucking 25 years. It might take me fucking another 25 to find another one. I don't give a shit. I think at this point, the last 25 years have seemed really fucking fast. Like, it just feels like they were just gone. And now they're here, and now I'm here. I don't know anything. None of us know anything at all. And we're all trying to convince ourselves that we do. And that's so scary. Like, I want to know. I'm not immune from wanting to know either. And I think I have like this much of a clue sometimes. But do I? Do you? No. No. They're really trying to convince us that local people from Los Angeles are like throwing fucking napalm at cops. They're really trying to convince us that these peaceful fucking protests going on in Los Angeles are like brimstone and hellfire in the streets. I think these motherfuckers forget that we all have cell phones. I think they genuinely, I think they have brain damage as an entire group of people. There's no questioning what they're doing. And I'm just letting y'all know, I'm not part of that shit. Fuck y'all. And fuck this administration that's doing it. Take my ass to fucking jail. I don't give a fuck. I would rather die knowing for a fact that I'm spitting in the face of you motherfuckers than ever live with the complacency of thinking that if I stay quiet and I stay back, that it's not gonna fucking touch me. Go fuck yourself. I hope you die. I hope I get put on a list. I hope they show up at my fucking house. I hope I get a chance to deck a fucking ICE agent in the goddamn face. I hope every ICE agent dies. I hope all their family gets irreparably bankrupt and they all have to start all the fuck over. Karma's a bitch. That's all I gotta fucking... How do you stop being friends with someone who has given you full right and reason to not be their friend anymore, but hasn't fucked up so bad in current time to warrant you just being like, hey, I don't like you a whole bunch no more. Peace. Because, the time for giving chances is over. I just kind of want to dip. I'm going to get over being a bad person. Because I don't think my idea of a bad person is the same as everybody else's. I think, in my brain, I have, this weird, perfect idea about, the way that people should function. And no one will function like that. Not even me. So maybe my version of a bad person is literally just what everyone else is fucking doing. That's something to think on. Okay. You can be disrespectful on accident. But just because you were disrespectful on accident don't mean that you weren't fucking disrespectful. Remember that. If people speak to you disrespectfully or they speak to you out of tone in a way that they usually would not speak to you when they're upset, pay attention to that. And then nip it in the fucking bud if you can. I was stupid for a very long time. And when things would get heated between me and another person, and they would speak to me in a way that they usually didn't speak to me, or when our languages started to get to a place where we usually didn't get, I usually would just be like, oh, it's just the heat of the moment, it's not a big deal. But that is the way that person feels like they really can talk to you. And I'm guilty of it. I know what my opinions are. I know what my thoughts are. I know where my heart is. And I will not let anyone convince me otherwise. I know that for a fact. I do know that about myself. And sometimes people get really good at making me question it. But I will not. People have their own shit that they've lived and their own lives that they have had that make them feel the way that they do about things, and I can't take that personally. If people don't like the things you say, it does not mean the things you said were wrong. It just means that they either didn't like them or misunderstood them. And either way, there's a way to have a conversation about that that does not devalue what you guys got. I will not be spoken to a certain way. What the fuck about me makes people think that they're allowed to speak to me a certain way? I don't get it. There isn't anything. They're just dicks. And on the flip side of that, I suppose, sometimes, sometimes you just gotta know who's worth arguing with, you know? And who's worth reconciling with. Because ultimately, hard conversations or conversations that require a little bit of mental and emotional labor are conversations that are meant to fortify your relationship with the person that you're having them with. You don't just have conversations like that with any fucking Dick, Jane, and Mo. Like, you reserve difficult conversations that require you to actually be a person and challenge you a little bit and require you to show up a little bit for the people that actually can see you. And so it's important to remind yourself that if you're having these kinds of like in-depth conversations, you either one, think really highly of your relationship with them, or two, are willing to expel a lot of really personal energy for someone you don't really give a fuck about. And it makes it really easy to kind of navigate that. And that's what I'm feeling right now. It's like, at the end of the day, there is one person, and one person in particular, who I will always want to make up with, and who, no matter how big the disagreement, I want to come back from it, because ultimately the feeling of hurt comes from not being heard by someone that I love. It comes from not being seen by someone who usually sees me. It's from the perception that I have done something now to irreparably change the way they see me, and therefore might cause me to lose them. And so it's ultimately just like a fear of not having them in my life anymore. And I think that's sweet. I don't know. Being a human is hard. I'm about to deeply clean the shiznit out of my room because nothing feels enough for me right now. I just mulled some blackberries to make lemonade. A little bit of ice in there. I have logged out of social media as a means to reclaim my sanity. Yum. All that needs is a shot of lime and some cilantro, bitch. I am determined to have a good life, damn it, if it is the last fucking thing I do. I'm trying to get over this obsession with having it all figured out. I don't know where that stemmed from and when I started doing that, but I need to give it a fucking rest. A schizotype personality, unfortunately, like diagnosable, like in my family line, my brain is a little bit too smooth, and so a lot of things connect in ways that they probably don't in real life, but that's what makes my personality fun. And so, with that, I have been able to get tattoos for quite some time now. I've been getting tattoos for quite some time now, and I've had money to get tattoos for quite some time now. I have never gotten a Friday the 13th flash tattoo, despite having many, many, many opportunities to do so. I've been very disappointed in it every single time. I'm really upset about it every single time. But I now know that there was a reason for that. And that reason being, today, the day I'm recording, it is Friday the 13th. And it is the only Friday the 13th this entire year, which means it's extra fucking spooky. And I'm getting a flash tattoo today. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm stoked. I'll let you know how the fuck it goes. I accidentally gave myself bangs again against I've been growing them out for like a couple months, and I was trying to just do a little trim, trying to just do something small, and no, they're small again. I got a tattoo yesterday. Peep. Isn't it cute? I'm in love. Leave me alone. Things are good. I feel good. Life is grand. I'm intentionally putting myself in a position to work very hard today. I'm working 12 hours, probably just about. I don't like it. I don't miss it. God. But I am excited for the moment in the day that I can put this much energy and this much work into something I actually enjoy and that actually, like, fulfills me and satisfies me. Like, I'm really excited for the day that I can put 12 hours, 13 hours, 16 hours into something that at the end of it, I'm like, okay, no, I think I need to work 12 more hours on this. Like, I'm so excited to wake up and work another 14 hours on this thing. Like, even if it is just like a regular job that I make money at, like, I would like to enjoy putting work into something, because I'm not opposed to hard work. Like, I'm not opposed to working. Like, everyone's like, oh, what's your dream job? I don't dream of labor. Like, I don't dream of labor either, but not even that. I don't dream of being exploited for my labor. I don't dream of my labor being the only valuable thing about me in the eyes of society. Like, I do want to work really hard, and I want to be around people who also work really hard. And I want to be compensated for it. And I want to be able to say no, and I want to be able to manage my conditions in which I do work. And I don't think that's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna smoke some weed and do some drawing and then fucking leave again. Bye! Man, say what you want about being hoaxy. Sometimes meditation really do be that bitch.
Jesus Christ.
I love getting older because I feel like all I do is have more control over myself. It makes me not fucking understand these old bitches who are just, like, completely fucking up their lives because they have no sense of, like, self-control. Like, you have to, like, adamantly ignore all the things in your body to not feel that way. I feel like, to me, all humans obviously are different, but we all evolve very similarly. And so, I don't know. I might piss some people off with that. I'm gonna leave that to myself. I realized with all of the shit going on with the current administration and the way that Mexican people are being, like, indiscriminately targeted and shit, that I had a lot of, like, personal beef, I guess, with being Mexican for a really long time. I didn't want to speak Spanish because I thought it was, like, an ugly language, because I thought it was a language of colonizers, and I didn't really have any interest in kind of embracing that part of myself. And I didn't really ever understand why, and I think I'm starting to really understand that more now, at least for myself. So I think I'm ready to, like, just start embracing it and to start, like, owning the fact that I am a Mexican person, and I am, you know, like, a third-gen person who lives here and who, like, can't escape that part of myself, and I think I'm done trying to. So y'all about to see me start looking Mexican as fuck. Recently had to come to terms with the fact that sometimes people will leave your life simply because you and them are not compatible, and they don't really have to even do anything to make you realize that. Sometimes you just develop a better sense of self-understanding, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to make real life peace with the fact that some people you just don't want in your life because you just don't want them in your life. I'm going through the beginning phases of cutting someone out of my life. We've been friends for over a decade at this point, and as much as I would like to extend as much energy as I possibly could to the people that I love, I can't do that, and I refuse to do it. And there are some people in your life that you kind of just have to realize that you're constantly making excuses for. And I'm constantly making excuses for this friend. And I recently cut somebody else out of my life who I was also constantly making excuses for. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt, or for wanting to give people's situations nuance and be kind to them. But I also think that there's a level in which it's like you just being naive, or like there's just a level of, like, of naivety versus genuine optimism And I think I'm just in a place now where it's like, I feel really good in myself. I feel really good in my relationship with other people. I enjoy my life and I enjoy the things that I do. And I'm very steadfast in the things that I agree with and the things I don't agree with. And unfortunately, the older I get, the more me and this person just kind of grow apart because they kind of just refuse to change in any way that's actually like meaningful to me. And it doesn't have to be meaningful to them. It doesn't have to be meaningful to me because like ultimately it's their journal, like whatever the fuck. But they did something recently that's very on character for them, not something out of the ordinary. In fact, it's very, very much something that sounds like something that they would do, and I could not help but be really grossed out by the behavior. Like, it wasn't anything like terrible, it wasn't anything like morally apprehensive, it was just kind of a shitty thing to do if you're a bad person. And it made me start thinking like, wow, if someone told me that I was just like this person, I'd be really offended, and I don't know really how I would react, and I think I would feel some kind of way about it. And I only want to be around people who I feel like I reflect well and who reflect me well. Like, you really are the company that you keep, and I'm tired of having company that I'm embarrassed by. I would never like say like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed by you, like you're so embarrassing, but like the version of you that everyone knows is not the version of you that I know. And I can't help that. And I think after a certain point, some people expect you to maintain this comfortable place for them because they know that you're willing to make all of the exceptions and make all the excuses and, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. And after you realize that you don't want to do that anymore, they can tell. They can tell so hard. Like, it's not a secret that I'm probably trying to distance myself from this person, and I have been for the last like year or so. I've tried to distance myself from this person multiple times. I think I'm finally in a place with enough support from other people to where I can, because it's so fucking embarrassing to be told that you're being treated badly and that you're letting someone treat you badly. It's so embarrassing to have people be like, damn, you're really letting them do that? And you're just like, damn, I really fucking am, I guess. At some point, I had to just ask myself, like, what am I getting out of this friendship that makes all the things that I'm giving worth it? Because I don't really view my relationships as transactional by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely think that there should be some reciprocity in my relationships with anybody. I think that if we aren't a mutually beneficial relationship, then we're not a relationship that is worth a whole lot of merit, because relationships are a two-way street. It takes two to tango type of shit. And if one person's not pulling their weight, then it is just one person dragging the other one behind them. And I don't like that. And I don't want to be that way. And I don't want to have friendships like that anymore. And I think this friendship that I'm currently ending, I think it's the last friendship that I have that's like that. And I think once I finally give myself permission to move past that, I will officially be in a completely new phase of my life, because now there really won't be anybody in my life that expects that kind of behavior from me, or that expects that kind of treatment from me. And that's a good thing.
It's 10:48 p.m. My lips are numb, my hair is up, and it's time to fucking party.
I'm realizing I may be a problem. It has been a thing for me where I just kind of get pissed off for no reason. Not no reason, but like a thing that feels very justified for me to be pissed off about. I end up realizing it's kind of just like a little thing that I shouldn't be irritated about, and I'm trying really hard to like combat that, because it's not healthy, obviously. And my fiance, bless their heart, I'm starting to get into the place with them where they're asking me, like, do I just piss you off all the time? And that broke my fucking heart, because that is something that everyone says to me, and that, like, people do just kind of, like, they're just like, I just can't win with you, or you make me feel so stupid, or, like, it feels like you're always, like, thinking that I'm arguing with you when I'm not, and it's just, like, where do I get into this defensive-ass fucking, like, loop with myself, and, like, why do I do that? And so, like, I think that's gonna be the next little thing that I, like, figure out about myself, because I really, really, really do not like that feeling that it gave me. Like, with anyone else, I probably would have been like, you just need to get the fuck over it, but, like, with this person, you mean something that I'm doing is negatively impacting you, and so I have to change in order to grow and respect you more? I'm gonna do that. And I never probably would have done that before. I love this person. I love my fiance so much. I love them so much. It's stupid. And I literally will do, like, anything I have to in order to be a better person and facilitate a healthier relationship with them. Like, genuinely, I really will. And that feels really fucking nice to acknowledge as someone who has, like, constantly just had issues in this area of their life. I don't know. I may be the problem, but that means that I also have the solution, bitch.
I don't need drugs because sometimes I make my partner laugh so hard that their head falls back and they like can't breathe and their eyes like squint and they like holler and hoot, and that shit's better than cocaine. It's just now hitting me that my birthday is next week. I'm gonna be 25. That shit's awesome. I think I've been waiting for this moment my entire life, if that makes sense. It's like, I feel like I've always just meant to be grown. Like, my brain always knew what the end goal was supposed to be, and I just didn't like any of the in-between shit. And obviously, all the things I learned in the in-between shit are what bring me to, like, who I am now. It's just very relieving to finally, like, feel right in my body because my brain has finally caught up. Or maybe the opposite, like my body has finally caught up to my brain. I don't know. Getting my first pap smear. Oh, I hate having a vagina. It's the last week of motherfucking June. My birthday is literally next weekend. Yes, I'm a 4th of July baby. Please. 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 It's hot outside. And it's time to fucking party.